the fact that Maduro claimed to win when he didn't. President Biden had the real president at the Oval Office. But Nicolas Maduro threatened to invade Puerto Rico and said that he would join forces with Brazil. He's kind of mocking the United States. So what does Donald Trump do? Trump sends his special envoy, Rick Grenell, or whatever the guy is, to do a deal with Maduro, hence recognizing Maduro, which is the biggest middle finger in the world to the Venezuelan community in South Florida. Trump then revokes the temporary protected status of the Venezuelans who supported Donald Trump, who were here with legal papers working, and people in Doral, like people in Donald Trump's area who work at the places for Donald Trump even. He revokes their TPS and then rounds them up and says he's going to send them back to Maduro or in concentration camps in Guantanamo Bay, and cuts a deal with Maduro to do that, strengthening Maduro's hands and directly negotiating with Maduro, saying we're going to send the people back. Then he sends Marco Rubio to El Salvador, and Trump was giving press conferences today talking about sending American citizens to prison in El Salvador with the leader of El Salvador in those prison systems. So here, let me just show you this. This is Marco Rubio today. This is Secretary of State saying this. Here, play this clip.
The president, in an act of extraordinary friendship to our country, knowing the challenges we face in the U.S., has agreed to the most unprecedented and extraordinary migratory agreement anywhere in the world. He has agreed to accept for deportation any illegal alien in the United States who is a criminal from any nationality, be they MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, and house them in his jails. And he's also offered to do the same for dangerous criminals currently in custody and serving their sentences in the United States, even if they're U.S. citizens or legal residents.
Cohen, I'm just trying to understand.
Whoa. I mean, when I heard this, I was like, wait. I paused. I rewinded, because I'm lucky I have Spectrum, which is still shit anyway. But I was able to back it up. And I was like, did Marco Rubio just say that we have the right within which to deport any nationality and send them to Venezuela or to Cuba or anywhere that they want, Salvador, wherever they want, including U.S. citizens? I mean, I'm just trying to figure, I'm not even sure if I've ever heard of anything like this in the history of our country, that they're now going to deport U.S. citizens charged with a U.S. crime. I don't care what the crime is, to be honest. That's not the issue here. And house them in another country, which somehow, to me, just sounds violative of our Constitution, considering the country that you are deporting the U.S. citizen to doesn't have constitutional protections, even for incarcerated people. I'm baffled at the level of bullshit that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And this is not what, by the way, I warned you. How many times on this program, how many times on my Mea Culpa podcast, how many times on my Michael Cohen YouTube show have I said the same thing over the course of the past, whether it's 6 months since I started the YouTube or 3 years plus since I started my Mea Culpa podcast? I am warning you that every time Donald Trump and his acolytes do something, they are going to shock your senses. They're going to create something that has never, ever, ever been seen before. And you know what? Now that it's here, and now that it's kicking us all in the fucking teeth,